All right there, hello. You probably just listened to part one or watched part one, in which I kind of talked about a technique of creating an image of an event or situation and creating distance from it, and then adjusting its position, and so finding that the event has less impact than it used to. Now, think for a moment, if you would, I know that your conscious mind has days when you have good memory recall, poor memory recall. Those are opinions about our ability to remember images. But the actual storage of information is a constant thing. Your unconscious is a fantastic recording device. So think of it like the most brilliant holographic digital chip, right? And every second of your life is recorded. So at the moment, your unconscious isn't just recording everything I say, it's also recording the position that you're sitting in, the angle of the light in the room, the temperature you're experiencing, the air pressure pushing behind your ears. Now, we know there's air pressure pushing behind your ears because if there wasn't, your ears would fly off into space, right? But you've got 2 million pieces of sensory data on your skin, all over your body, sending images, information data into your brain. And that's far too much for us to contemplate, consciously. So your unconscious is like a filtered membrane. It keeps all that information at the background, and we just know about maybe one or two or three thoughts amongst the myriad thousands that are happening in every second. Now, when information comes in, i.e. when we have an experience, the data is recorded, if you like, neurologically. So it's recorded as sights, sounds, tastes, smells, etc. So, for example, when the brain records an image of something, it tends to give it a elevation position, right? Now, you know that, for example, if an image is above the eye line, we have the sensation that we are small and the world is big compared to us being so small. Whereas if the image is below the eye line, then we feel in command and powerful, right? And the image is down there. So that's why we put the opera diva goddess on the stage, because we look up to her, and we put the gladiator in the amphitheatre down there, because we have the power of life and death over him. Right? So, if you ask somebody a question like, where's the interview, job interview? And they say, oh, it's in Jefferson Street. You say, no, not the address of the interview. Where's the idea of the interview? And if they say, well, when I think about it, the job interview's there. That's too high. Because that person is letting you know that they feel small compared to the job interview, which is raised up. It's more powerful than them. So they're going to go into the job interview with slightly inhibited body language. The unconscious and peripheral vision of the interviewer will sense that although the person looks good on paper, there's something about the individual that seems crushed, small, worried. Why would he be worried if he's competent at the job, if he's very good at the job? Why would he be worried about the job? Maybe there's something that isn't showing on the piece of paper. So kind of alarm bells of, wariness would ring, and the person doesn't get the job. So when you think of the job interview, have the image float down, right? And as the image floats down, it becomes more manageable, it becomes easier. Now, this isn't getting rid of things. This isn't casting information off into the unconscious. It's not burying memories or anything like that. It's just shuffling the furniture. Because we know that if the idea of something is far away, then we're removed from it. It has less impact. If something's close up, it's having a direct, we're associated with the emotions. So if you ask somebody, so tell me about your last really good holiday. And they go, well, and it's a tiny thing out there on the horizon. Too far away. Good holiday should be here, right? Making big smiles. Some people get all their bad experiences and they wake up in the morning and the bad experiences are stuck to their head. And that's the first thing that starts their day. It sets the tone of the moment. So get those uncomfortable things, push them out. Right? We also know that if something is viewed in colour, we're associated with it. And if something's in black and white, we're more distant from it. So if somebody falls off a horse or with a bicycle and they're a bit reluctant to get back on the bike or a bit reluctant to get back on the horse, you don't have to say to them, forget it, because that's, not a very good thing to do. Burying anything into the unconscious and repressing it is unhealthy, and it will pop up later and be more impactful later on as well. So I'd never recommend that. But get the person to think of, the time they fell off the bike or the horse, whatever it is, and then say, okay, so is it moving? If it's moving, make it still. If it's colour, make it black and white. If there's sound, turn the sound down so it goes click silent. Just follow the wording of the technique as I showed you. And then have them move it smaller and further and smaller away, so that it goes far out enough that it no longer has any impact. Not over the horizon to disappear, but just far out enough that it no longer has an impact. And then have it float down to the floor, so then they're looking at it out there. And as soon as you've done that, immediately, once you agree that, hey, this is different, then look around the different spaces. That's the equivalent, I guess, of putting the gears back into neutral again, right? And just, what's it going to be like now? Now, this doesn't fix the issue. It doesn't solve the problem. What it does is it reconfigures the neurology of it so that one's relationship with the problem has changed. The problem itself still exists. The event happened, whatever it was. The event's going to happen, whatever it is, right? That doesn't change. And we can't rewrite history, but we can do something about our relationship with history. And if we change our relationship with something, then our world changes in relationship with that as well. So this isn't a fix or a cure. It's kind of like a reconfiguring, really. But it's something of your own design, because you select what it is you want to change, and you push it out as far as you wish. So if you want to be still slightly concerned, bring it a bit closer. Now, this also works, of course, for making something that isn't impactful become impactful. So if a person is reluctant to empty the rubbish, or those tasks that you have to do but you don't really want to do them, but if you could just muster yourself and get it out of the way quickly, then it would all be done, and then you could get on with the business of enjoying yourself. But procrastinating all day means the rubbish doesn't get emptied all day, and so therefore it's hanging in the air all day, and the guilt and any conversations about it go on all day as well. So, get rubbish bin, bring it in close, vibrant colours, stick it there. Can't stand it anymore. Pick up the rubbish and empty the rubbish out, and then it's done. Right? So, if you've got things like homework that needs to be done, haven't done it yet, tasks that need to be done, haven't done it yet, or just, calling that relative, this is how you can turn things up a little bit to make them more impactful, and also how you can distance yourself from things to make them less impactful. And essentially what happens is that you begin to control your own brain. You're running your own relationship with your reality. And having the ability to master your relationship with reality is a good first step to being able to reconfigure your whole life in the way that you really want it to be. And that's just a useful tool to use. So if you have any questions about this, and there just might be a few, feel free to write to me. My email address is info@davidrowan.co.uk. I've got a website, www.davidrowan.co.uk, and you can contact me, and I'll happily answer anything. Although if the questions are, if you've got 10,000 questions, it's easier to talk on the phone or something like that, but we can deal with that when we get there. All right, okay, so I hope you enjoyed this little excursion into a little look at NLP and Master Modern Applied Psychology, Part 1 and 2. Or, by the way, if you wanted to give this particular type of work a name or a label, I would describe it as submodality work. A modality is a neurological mode, so sight, vision, taste, smells, neurological modes, and the positions of things can be described as the discrete units or components of those modes. So, for example, a unit of vision would be proximity, brightness, dimness, elevation. Submodalities of sound might be volume, tone, pitch. Okay? All right, so what you've done is you've just adjusted some of the submodalities of vision, sound, and by doing that, it has an effect on the physical sensation of the relationship that you have with it. Thank you very much indeed for your time.